prosecutor. Our next guest is one of several Republican lawmakers calling for the release of the Comey memo or for the fired FBI director to testify before Congress. Joining us now is Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger from Illinois. He's a veteran of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Good morning, Congressman.
Hey, good morning. Thanks.
Do you agree with Senator McCain that this is reaching Watergate level?
No, well, I mean, that's kind of hyperbole. I'll let him speak for himself. He's very intelligent, obviously. This is bringing a lot of questions to the front, which is, you know, what's been going on, what's been happening. It seems like every day there's some new information to pop. You know, yesterday it was this idea of speaking and giving intelligence information. Today, it's the idea of was there a quote-unquote cover-up or an attempt to cover up or an attempt to obstruct justice? This is very concerning, and we've got to get to the bottom of this. We have to get to the answer. Because it's not just about the politics of it. Everybody's kind of focused on what the politics means. What it really is when this is done, the American people need to know that justice was served either way, whether it's the administration being shown that they actually didn't do anything, or whether there was something. The American people deserve the answer, I think.
But do you think that if the president asked the director of the FBI, James Comey, to let the investigation go of Michael Flynn, that is an obstruction of justice?
So I'm not a legal expert, and it's really hard to jump to that conclusion when I don't know, haven't seen the memo, don't know beyond what was in the New York Times story and what was confirmed in some areas. But I will say, if in fact what was in the memo is true, it's very concerning, and we need to get to the bottom of that, have our legal experts find out what level does that rise to. The American people deserve the answers here, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. And our job in the legislative branch is to make sure that we get answers to questions like that.
So how are you going to get to the bottom of it?
Well, there's pending investigations now, but I think it's time that we look at the idea of whether it's an independent commission or a special prosecutor. I'm not sure the best venue, but I think it's time that we do whatever is necessary, that when this is over, we give the American people the confidence that justice, either way, either way it goes, has been served. And I think we're getting to a point where this has become too political. People are making determinations on whether something did or didn't happen by their political stripes, not by the rule of law. And so I think we're at the position now where it's time for an independent commission or a special prosecutor or whatever.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't heard you say that before, that you're calling for a special prosecutor. And so are you saying that you have lost faith in the Congressional Committee's investigations into this?
No, I haven't lost faith in their investigation. I think it ought to continue. I think they're doing really good work. But yesterday, when we begin to see memos, and again, we need to see this. We know we need to see this memo. When we begin to hear things about the potential of asking the FBI director to stop an investigation, this has raised real red flags in the level of seriousness. And so we need honest, non-political answers. We need people that are going to quit coming in front of cameras and trying to make politics out of this. We need the answer to justice. This is about America. It's not about our political parties or political future. And I think whatever form that is, if it's a commission or something, is where we need to go.
If it comes down to James Comey's word versus President Trump's word, who would you believe? There would be so many more iterations of information to come out on that. I believe James Comey, but I believe... But I just sorry to interrupt you, but would there? I mean, there were just two men in the room. And so if, at that time, Director Comey wrote a memo about what happened, and he presents it to you, and President Trump says, that never happened, that's not my recollection, then what would you do and who would you believe?
Well, look, I think James Comey has a very good reputation for the truth. I have a good buddy who's an FBI agent. I had dinner with him last night, in fact, and he said, James Comey has a great reputation within the FBI. To go from saying, though, I'm going to pick this guy over this person, and that leads to the next iteration of, there are so many issues to come out right now. But I will say this raises major red flags, and we need answers to what they are. The American people deserve it. Again, it's not about, we have to stop standing in front of the camera and saying, it's okay to talk about what does this mean for the midterms eventually, but that's not the question. The question is, we need to have faith that the administration and justice is being served on all levels, no matter where that is.
But it is about the midterms also. I mean, let's face it, right? There are some people in your party, obviously, who are looking at their districts, and if they're not in a solidly red district, they're starting to get concerned.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, I mean, there's politics to it. We're political creatures out in D.C. That's what this place was built for. But it happens on both sides. I mean, every news story that comes out about Donald Trump, some on the left make this an 11 on a 10 scale, and you hit max freak out immediately. And some on the right are unwilling to accept that there could be anything at all going on. All we need is answers. And whatever form that's going to take, however we get there, we have to do it. This goes beyond what does 2018 or 2020 mean. This is about protecting, at whatever level, our system, our faith in our politicians and our institutions, and we haven't had that for quite a while.
All right, here's one offer for an answer for you. Reuters is just reporting at this moment that President Putin of Russia says that President Trump did not pass any secrets to Sergei Lavrov, and that he can give a record of the Trump-Lavrov conversation to U.S. Congress members if you are interested. Will you ask Putin to give his account of what happened in that room?
Well, I don't talk to murderous dictators like Vladimir Putin. And look, he says that he doesn't use GPS-guided bombs to bomb hospitals in Syria, and we know that to be untrue. So Putin's word to me really doesn't mean a whole lot. If they want to send some information, we'll be interested to look. But it'll be interesting to me why there would be any kind of an account of what was discussed from the Russians in the White House.
Do you think we're going to hear more of your Republican colleagues speak out today about all of this?
I'll have to leave that to them. I think there's some interest and some concern, and we want to get to the bottom of whatever happened in any way we can.
Congressman Adam Kinzinger, thank you very much for being here.